Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. It's now 10 a.m. We'll start with roll call.
Cody Compton for District 1.
Jessica Clayton, District 2.
Dawn Cash, District 3.
Okay, the notice of meeting was properly posted on June 15th, 2023. We'll begin with approval of minutes. Number 1.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we're going to start with number 3, and then we'll come back to Shine. Is that okay, Grant? Okay. Number 3 is discussion, possible action regarding policies, processes, procedures, and status report related to planning, oversight, and the administration of the Oklahoma County ARPA funding allocation. Jamie is joining us virtual. No. She was supposed to.
I know.
Okay, we're going to take a recess, or can I get a motion for a recess so that way we can get censure online, just due to the time that it may take to go through the Shine policies and procedures.
So moved. You want to do it to call the chair or what time?
No, we'll need a time certain if we're going to recess.
Right,
So
so what
like
time?
10:15. Do you think that'll give
That
plenty
sounds
of time
good. 10:15
in this room?
in this room.
I'll move on recess till 10:15.
Okay, all in favor?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do what? Will people be able to hear would be my biggest concern. I have no objection to that. I just think it's incumbent upon us to do it. where
Let's
people
have
can
that
hear.
discussion on. Motion to return to open session.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we are, due to challenges with the WebEx that we're having at this time, are going to call for a special meeting. I feel like would be best, so that way we can make sure we address number 3 and number 4. And I apologize, presiding judge, for having to reschedule, but it's important for Censure to be on the call in order to discuss these important items. And so we'll reach out to your team and make sure that, Renee, and make sure that when we have the special that you're available at that time. So we have to give,
Well, if we're gonna do a special, then we have to give 48-hour notice,
Hours.
but we don't necessarily, I don't know what everybody's schedule is, but I don't necessarily know that it would necessitate a special meeting when we could just recess this meeting at the end until a date and time specific. So whether that would be,
that would be up to the clerk, the county clerk, to allow for
do you know how
us to
long?
recess.
I can't hear very well.
So Cody has proposed recessing, but that would be up to the county clerk in regards to allowing us to recess and then making arrangements for the WebEx.
Right. I mean, I don't know what your technical ability is or the room availability.
I'm available the rest of the day, so.
Same.
So if you could just. Yeah, if you could just, would you mind going and checking with her in order to see what
Well,
time works best for her?
Yeah, she needs to be able to give her time.
We're available the rest of the day. And
I've
it
got,
sounds like the
I've got a
presiding
meeting
judge
at
and-
2. Can you find out what the earliest availability would be for us to come back? Thank you. I
Okay,
may be able to push that, but I don't know.
I'll let them know.
Sorry for the
thank you.
inconvenience.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I would want to wait for the clerk to come back.
Oh, before we,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, absolutely.
So the suggestion was to recess till tomorrow and then pick up the conversation in regards to the censure items after the OCC and PPA. And I need to check with Danielle and make sure that that works for her.
I will need to check and make sure my check doesn't have to on it tomorrow.
Yeah, can you check? I think with VOCC and then there's other stuff tomorrow afternoon. I don't think there's any.
And I'm not available tomorrow.
Well, I was wondering about Thursday. I don't see anything on the calendar for Thursday. Yeah, Thursday looked pretty open.
I'm out a little bit in the morning Thursday.
Yeah, we returned. Yeah.
What day would I be?
Yes, ma'am. It'd be the 22nd. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what. Are they available Thursday afternoon?
Judge Andrews is flying up all night. He's not on it all morning. Very close to Friday next week. Very close with that report.
Well, why are we?
Based on our conversation. Issue with that report, it's not like.
I mean, if possible, right? I mean,
We are on a 10-day deadline.
a 10-day deadline for. You're on a deadline for a final decision on number 4.
An alternative plan? Yeah, we're on a deadline. What's the last day we have to do anything?
Well, we can't. I mean, you need to be on the mic, Renee.
Right, I mean, if we need to really have, this is sort of news, this is part of the topic. Do we want to actually have the topic or delay the topic?
Based on conversations we had, I'm letting you know that the courts need to have a resolution to number 4 by June 30th. And I tried to call you and you were in Arkansas, but we've had the conversations with Jessica and Cody, so, yeah.
Well, and what I had said was that we would try our best to be able to get some type of, determination before the end of the fiscal year. But with the way ARPA runs, going through this committee, well, first needing to go through this committee and through our consultant and then through BOCC, that
Right, which
And
is why
then
we're,
ultimately budget board as well, because we'll have to have a line item created and transferred.
well,
that-
and we understand the budget board comes later. We had that discussion as well. My judge isn't here right now, and I'm really uncomfortable having this discussion without him. That was his whole purpose of being here. My request, based on his availability, is that we address number 4 later today so that he can be here.
The clerk's office has indicated that we cannot recess this meeting for a time later this afternoon and get Accenture on the call. Is that correct? That's what the clerk has said. And to have this discussion, it is vital, in my opinion, that we have our consultant be able to weigh in on that particular item.
And I understand. The judge is not available all day Thursday. I've just checked his docket. He has got an all-day docket on Thursday. I'm not available tomorrow afternoon.
What about Friday?
I will have to check that and see. I know that, I believe Friday no, that's next Friday. Let me check on Friday. I'll see what I can do.
So I would, are you checking now? Okay. So can we go ahead and move to an agenda item and then touch back base in regards to when we're going to recess after, once we have more details? Okay.
Yeah, I would offer though, if you're talking about moving to item number 2, the policies and procedures related to Shine. I know Joe has been the primary one, running this for District 1. I've got some comments on the policies and procedures. I know he's going to want to weigh in heavily on this. So if we're going to recess this to Thursday or Friday, he will be back. We can take the time and go through line by line, but I'm assuming that he will want to go line by line as well when he's here, so as to not have to duplicate efforts. We may want to just wait on this item and take it up when we return from recess for the ARPA items as well. Just a suggestion.
Okay.
I have no objection to that one way or the other.
I just don't want you guys to have to sit through me going through all and then having to go, and sit again. So just to try to be respectful of your time.
I appreciate that. We want to make sure that we can work through the policies and procedures and get them moving forward. So that way Grant can get those finalized and also discuss the contract, which is on the table for Oklahoma City. So I guess we'll just wait till Renee.
And we don't, I know, the contract is not on the agenda, right?
It's part of the transfer.
Well, Grant, let me ask you just a quick question. I'm kind of with Dawn on that. I don't know that it's specific enough here, but my recollection of conversations with you in the past and reading the Oklahoma City contract, any of the changes, modifications, complete overhaul, or just keeping it the exact same on the policy and procedures, none of those decisions, none of those would be impactful on the contract with Oklahoma City itself. Is that correct?
I don't believe so, no. And that was the goal, was for me to hurry up and get something on the agenda, which is why I got it on for BOCC tomorrow. And
Right.
It doesn't mean it has to be approved, but that's our big contract, and I wanted it on there to at least give the option to have it approved so we could get it back to the city for them to finalize it on there and get signatures. So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think whatever changes
policies
made
and
with the
procedures.
policy will really affect the contract.
And I think that's how this item kind of relates to having the discussion about the contract, because how the policies and procedures relate to it. But as far as making a recommendation and adopting, I don't think this agenda language is broad enough to be able to do that.
Sorry.
So I wanted to ask, I'm sorry, because this came up at the last meeting, so I just wanted to understand a little bit better your thinking and just what is actually occurring. So while we've been reviewing policy and procedures, the program is going full
Correct.
bore, moving right along.
Correct.
This isn't pausing the program at all
Not
at
at
this time. Okay, I just want to confirm that. And then I would agree that probably the contract needs to be, although if we're going to leapfrog and BOCC is going to approve the contract before we have another meeting, that might inform my thinking as to whether or not it needs to be on P and G, but okay, I'm good.
Well, and Don, to your point, I think we've heard a couple times, not only has it been ongoing, but we've been able to utilize and mobilize our efforts in a greater effect for the city of Oklahoma City contract since February. Is that correct?
Right, yeah, the discussion in here was to focus on the contract work, which is what we've done, since February. And that's one thing, just, the only thing I really had today at all was for you to consider as you're looking at those policies. Obviously, funding's a big deal, and I see all the meetings, and I know that's an issue, and I know we want to get as much out of the contract as possible. Potentially, maybe putting something in the policy about a priority, what we should hit, which I know there's a lot of special projects that are very important. I know Charles talked about a lot of those last week up here about the whole list of projects that are done for the community and different things we've been doing for years. That's important, while at the same time, that takes away from hours, days, or weeks from the contract, which is not getting the money out of that contract. So maybe some sort of priority list of what I should focus on first, whether it's the contract for funding or, the community events, which we're more than happy to do too. But based on the number of participants we have during the week and crew chiefs, we're not going to be able to do both. So, again, whatever's of a most priority, we're more than happy to do.
I think that's a good discussion, prioritization in the future. I think right
Sure.
now,
Oh,
now
absolutely.
I wasn't sitting and didn't vote, but this board gave you direction before to prioritize contract work. So as of right now, I think you do have a priority list based on action that this board took prior. Now, whether that changes in the future, I don't know. But moving forward, I think that knowing what your priority is for the program is extremely important. That way you can meet the expectations of the county commissioners.
Sure, absolutely. And like I mentioned, I did email over the contract for this year's 50,000 less, which doesn't mean we can't get that back. There's still that money in there. If we hit that 186,000, there's still the potential for the rest of it, but it is lessened by that much because the previous year was much lower on contract hours. So.
Okay.
So from what I'm understanding, we had discussed policy during previous meetings that he was to hold off on the contract until we reviewed further the policies and procedures, but now we're deciding that you can move forward. We also had asked the DA to provide guidance on what that contract looks like moving forward, and so that's the reason why he provided two different versions. And so are we going to discuss this again on Friday, or are you just moving forward with combining those and adding them on BOCC? So I'm clear.
So for specifically the contract?
Just specifically the contract with
So
Oklahoma
specifically
City.
the contract, what's on for tomorrow is what was drafted by the city of Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And it's very similar, not much of a difference other than the total amount from the previous years.
Okay.
So that's what's on there to be considered, because we got to get,
Got to get moving.
we're hitting that end of the fiscal year, and they have some timelines too, which I mentioned last week. They need to have that approved right away so they can get it moved across and signed. So I put it on there right away so we could.
So we don't
get it
need
done.
anything, you don't need anything from us in regards to this contract?
I don't believe
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I think the other draft was a municipal contract, if they were
So
going to put their
the-
municipals, which would fall in line with the policies and procedures, whether we were going to go that route or not. So I think right now, that particular one is not on for BOCC,
It is not.
correct?
It is not.
In Oklahoma City, are they pushing for having that ASAP?
No,
They
just
requested,
the one that they drafted is the one that they're requesting to be done as soon as possible, which is the one I put on for tomorrow.
so
Okay.
what's their deadline on a municipal, for the
They-
municipal folks?
They needed to get that contract that'll be looked at tomorrow to their board or committee by July 5th. But the
Okay.
only way to do it would be to get it approved.
Right,
last
I understand that. I'm talking about the potential contract for municipal folks that they might assign over. When are they needing that contract? Have they told you?
They have no probably not even knowledge of that contract. That
So
one
that's not
you're
a
talking about-
request from them?
No, that came from the district attorney's office on a proposed draft of what they feel a municipal contract would look like. And I think we looked at it a little bit in there, and there's a lot of things to look at as far as just municipal offenders.
Yeah, no,
which we don't
I've,
have.
I've seen it, but my question, it kind of then goes to, if City of Oklahoma City or another municipality isn't contemplating that type of a program, do we really need to spend our time and our effort spinning our wheels on a contract that they're not even, I mean, they're not interested in, right? Okay,
Right. Yeah, which is why I got that one on there as soon as possible for tomorrow.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So have we determined a time to recess to for Friday? Thank you, Grant.
Judge Andrews is available Friday afternoon, as am I.
We can be. I mean, we can reschedule all of our stuff. We'll be available for that. So like 1 o'clock,
1:30.
1:30.
Mhm.
We don't start meetings on the half hour.
Then 2.
1:30 works for me.
Thank you. Yeah, he's got a docket Thursday and Friday morning, so.
All right, so 1:30 works. Seems like for everybody.
Thank you. I appreciate your working with us on that.
So I'll need a motion to recess to Friday at 1:30 to discuss the items on the agenda for today.
I will move that we recess until Friday, I guess that would be June 23rd at 1:30 PM in the BOCC meeting room.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.